Hi everyone, welcome to this session. We're looking at the endpoint assessment for the Learning Skills Mentor. So you can see this is a relatively fast standard. We've got about 12 months on programs, so it is quite quick compared to some of the others that are out there, meaning we have to be really timely on making sure that we've submitted our duties that's creating our portfolio. We can see that we've got our 9 duties here. So this is what we're covering each month in the online learning materials. So each month you will have written an assignment or a case study covering each of these. So that's what you've done. It is at level 4. The grading is pass, fail, pass, merit, or distinction. We'll discuss that again in a bit more detail. There are 2 assessment methods. There is the observation, so you will be observed for at least 2 hours. But note, some of those are recorded, so you're not going to be under observation for that amount of time. And you've got your professional discussion, which is 60 minutes, roughly 8 questions. So they're just going to have a discussion really about your job role. Let's not forget what you're being assessed against are the skills, the knowledge, the skills, and the behaviours. So you can see here, under duty 1, plan, collect, and record activities. We've got 1 to 16. And that's what we're looking at here. Now, that just runs in line with your online material, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. So let's just look at the typical plan. Ideally, you retakes are capped at a pass. Resits are typically between 2 months or 3. And to pass, you need a pass in both. If you get a distinction in 1 and a pass in 1, then you only get a pass. But if you get a distinction in the observation and a distinction in the professional discussion, then your overall grade will be a distinction. Good. So, just to think about some of the evidence in which you could also be showing here as well. So when you talk about your endpoint exam, you've done the Higher Education Care Certificate Award, and in there we look at how you assess and induct carers through the care certificate, how you collect competency evidence, and how you monitor and track things and observe people. So that's kind of your work products, if you like, stuff that you can talk about, stuff that we can talk about. Good. Let's just look at then the endpoint assessment. So the endpoint assessment, as we've said, is the observation. And in the observation, as we scroll down to the bottom, now you do have to click on the link that I'm going to give you, and you do have to click on the EPA plan. So they don't come as PDFs on here. So here we've got our theoretical frameworks for K1, K4 and K12. So you need to make sure that you have got some kind of framework there. So maybe VARCs, if we're looking at reflections, you could have Honey and Mumford, or you could have Gibbs, whatever it is. This is what you're going to do for a pass grade. This is what you're going to do for a distinction grade. Okay, so it's not tricky to hit the distinction grade because it's telling you exactly what to do in that observation. Okay, and there's not a lot to the observation. It's theoretical concepts, communication, implementation, and monitoring. And then under the professional discussion, this is where it's underpinned by your portfolio of evidence. So this is whatever you have put in the assignments up here. So when we go to the assignments, it's these. You don't need to do anything for that. I will download that for you. So don't worry about that. We'll just log in, I'll download them, and you'll be given that in plenty of time. And that's the portfolio that I'm going to be submitting. So again, with whatever you have written for this, you can see that I've already linked them to the duties and frameworks. So we know that's what you're covering. And I've done that at the pass mark. So if you want the distinction, you may just need to go back in and top up your answers so you're happy. Now, what I can do with you is if you book a one-to-one with me nearer the time and you say, look, actually, I want the distinction grade, Steve, I will go through that with you and really push you to that distinction boundary. So if that's what you want. So ultimately, as as we've said, the gateway evidence is your English and maths and your portfolio of evidence, which is what you've already done. The observation then is here. It says that you're going to be given at least 2 weeks notice. It's going to be 2 hours. The time can flex up or down. The independent assessor will observe a live 30-minute mentoring session, but in addition, you need to provide 2 30-minute recording sessions. So that's then an hour and 30 minutes in total. This is 2 hours, and then you're going to have probably 30 minutes for those additional questions, taking you up to that 2-hour mark for your observation. And again, it's going to be mentoring, anything that you're doing as part of your current role. And you can be, and it tells you here, in the recording, mentoring sessions and mentorees must be visible in the recording. Audio-only recordings will not be accepted. So you must have videos. Record the mentoring sessions, maybe one-to-one or group work. So just be mindful of that. Okay. And then obviously your professional discussion. So as you go through, you've got your professional discussion in those areas. And again, you'll be given 2 weeks notice. And I think it's something like 8 questions based on the portfolio. I want to say it was 8 questions. Yes, the independent will ask you at least 8 questions. And that's just to cover the skills, the knowledge, and the behaviours. But again, you can see that in the plan. You click on that, you scroll down, and this is what they're going to have to ask you. So hopefully that gives you the understanding about your endpoint exam. If there are any concerns or any worries, do just send me a message and I will be more than happy to look at the evidence and let you know. But when you get to the gateway, we will submit the evidence together, so at least you know what we're submitting on your behalf, so you understand what you're going to be assessed against. Grand. Take care, everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you all soon.